Hello, morning everyone. So yet another IG live stream, and today I have Patrycja, founder of Yay Interiors, joining me, and we're going to speak about dreams. So I can see that she has put the request in, so I will let her in now. Please let us know if you can hear me well, or both of us, when Patrycja joins. There we go, so I'm just going to let her in. It's a bit windy here today. Right. Patrycja, hi. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. We can hear you perfectly. Hopefully you can hear me well.
Yeah, I can see you well. I can hear you well.
Great.
Good.
Let's hope the internet doesn't mess around. So I have already introduced you. So we have probably people joining as we go. So as I mentioned, today we're speaking about dreams. So each of us have prepared questions for each other. So I think we're just going to alternate like we usually do. So I can start with my questions to you.
Yeah, of course. You're the host of our conversation, so yes, definitely you should start.
Okay, perfect. Then I think I'll go with the first two questions to you, and then we will just start alternating, okay?
Yeah, sure.
So my first question to you was, as I understand, you have an architectural background, and was becoming an architect was your dream, or before, or you always wanted to do interior design as well? How did it all sort of happen?
Well, that story is quite a weird story because since I was a little, I want to be an artist, and for whole yes, I feel like I have in soul like artistic soul. So since I grew up, my thought a little bit developed, and then I thought, oh, architecture exists, so maybe I can compare my art skills with architecture. That will be a good idea for a career. So, like I said, I decided to study architecture, but in fact, it wasn't the easiest way because if you want to if you want to enter to architecture university, you have to pass a math exam, which wasn't the most pleasant thing which I had to do, and also I had to pass a 6 hours drawing exam.
Oh,
so
wow.
I wish I met you earlier because seriously, that 2-point and 1-point perspective could be really confusing, and it was for me as well. So I had to took lessons, and well, you can learn anything you want.
Yes.
If you want something so deeply, you can learn. So yeah, I started to figure out how to do that. And just before the exam, I discovered pro markers.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, and it was more than 10 years ago, so pro markers wasn't that common thing, common tool. Yeah. So yeah, I bought free colors. I remember that because I was high school student, so pro markers for me was really were really expensive. So I bought purple, green, and gray. And on my exam day, I was so happy because no one knows about pro markers. So I decided to draw everything with 3 colors because that's the only colors which I had. Yeah. And in the end, it was crazy drawing. Trust me, like those 3 colors combining together. And yeah, I passed the exam with really good result. I was really surprised. I think the magic was with those pro markers. So yeah, and I entered to the architecture university. I was very proud. After 6 years, I get my degree, master degree, and 1 week later, I came to England to build my my professional career here. So yeah, that's my drop of my story.
Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, the question was if I always want to be architect. Yes, I wanted to be an architect, but since I started to work in professional practices, I discovered another passion, which was interior design, obviously, and it happened in one of the projects which me and my team we refurbishment whole of the property of the really nice listed building, Gothic in style. It was amazing property, and I fell in love with interior design. And then I decided, well, I can keep going with architecture, but interior design it's much more fun and more present. And I decided to focus for interior design. That's why I signed for a KLC
Yeah.
design school
Ah,
to improve even more my
very
yeah.
interesting.
So that's my little story.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. I think if you compare, I mean, I don't know, obviously, because I haven't studied architecture, but I think if you compare interior design to architecture, more sort of like structured and more like,
Yes.
I don't know, I think as an artist, you probably would enjoy doing interior design more, you know? I think if you have this kind
Yeah.
of artistic background, because architecture is very kind of like solid and you have to be very specific and accurate. And I mean,
Yes.
that's,
True.
yeah. So I think interior design just has more kind of a creative side to it, which you
Yeah.
can use.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
I actually
And
wanted
I
to ask.
didn't. Yes. Yes.
No,
Yes.
I
Please.
ask you about. You said that you wanted to be an artist, and I wanted to ask, what sort of art do you like doing? Is it something more abstract? Is it drawing specific things? Like if you can just tell me what exactly.
Well. Yeah. Like I said, I'm really I like expressing my colors, patterns, and everything together. So more abstract art. I still do abstract art on my free time.
Oh,
It's always been a part of my life. So now I treat that more like a hobby. At time to time, I sell my paintings as well,
wow.
because yeah, I live in London and I love this city a lot. So I paint a lot of abstract buildings. Like I see buildings, but
Ah,
I try to show my with my own eyes. So it's not you can recognize. Okay, this is Gherkin, and you can recognize the shape, but the colors and everything it's totally different. So it's more abstract, definitely.
wow.
Yes.
I would love to see your work because I haven't seen it on your page. I don't know if you posted or maybe you have a.
I I think maybe somewhere in this on my Instagram you can find. I can
Oh,
send you, no problem,
yeah,
later.
and I would love to share them
Yeah.
well in my
Yeah.
stories if you don't mind because I think it's great to be honest and it's connected with architectural background as well, right? If you're painting
Yeah.
sort of buildings, even if it's in more abstract way, it doesn't matter, you know. When you're an
Yeah.
artist, you do whatever you want, you know. There's no
Yeah.
rules.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's great. That's very interesting, and that leads to my second question: why have you decided to
Okay.
specialize in children's bedrooms? Why?
Oh, that's another story because I obviously when I decided to focus more for interior design instead of architecture, even if I still working in the architecture company, I wanted to open something by my own, something
Yeah.
which I will be the owner. So I was looking for some gap in our market, and
Uh,
I found you can provide, for example, kitchen designers, find lots of kitchen designers, lots of bathroom designers, lots of interior designers. But when it's come to specific rooms, like a kid room, you can really find a lot. I mean, you can find some, but maybe they're not exactly on my own style.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe someone will have the same kind of taste. And what if I provide interior design for kids? And that thought came to open my own company. So yeah.
That's actually very interesting that you specialize in that. And I think kids' bedrooms in general, it's a very special space for them, you know. And I think there's a gap in the market, as you said, because people think, oh, you know, kids grow so quick, you know, you have to change the rooms all the time and blah blah blah. And
Mhm.
but I think with your style, to be honest, yeah, that can suit any child. You know, it can be a small
Yeah,
or
exactly.
yeah, I think it's very important to understand how to create a space which will last for a number of years, not just for 2 or 3 years. I don't know, whilst
Yeah,
the child
exactly.
is small, but actually as you grow, you know, you're still able to live in that room and it still kind of doesn't resemble a small child's bedroom
Mhm.
or something like that. You can just change the furniture around, you know, but overall, I think it's very nice, and that's why I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, I
When,
have to agree with you, definitely.
yeah,
And
when there's
we don't really recognize that how important those first years are.
yeah,
And because the child spends so much time indoor, in fact, and it has to be create to create great space for the person to for that small little one, and provide that curiosity, because the child have to be curious to
yes,
grow to smart person. If you
yeah,
don't really provide on those first years that curiosity, then your child wouldn't be that smart. So
yes,
it is a responsibility from for parents, and
yes.
that's why I created my company. So
Yeah,
shall we come to my question,
yeah,
another question, because I'm also very curious about
of
that.
course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I know you lived before in England, in London,
Yes.
and now you're living in a dream, to be honest, because you live in Greece, and it's, trust me, it's difficult to beat that. So how that happened? What was the reason? And
Yeah.
yeah, could you tell me a little bit more
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. So I lived in London for 11 years. Well, no, actually, I lived in London for 4 years. But in the UK, I lived for 11 years. So I moved when I
Mhm.
was a teenager. I was 14.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I love London. London is like my favorite city. But I think the main reason for that was, first of all, I opened BehindCanvas and it's now 2.5 years. And as I was sort of working on it,
Mhm.
sort of the time passed, I realized that, you know, having a business is something that I really enjoy and something that
Mhm.
and I've always wanted to do it. So for me,
Mhm.
you know, when you live in a city, you live in a city usually because you have a great job or you want to work for a big
Yeah.
company. You know what I mean? So you can be close, you know, to your work, whatever, commute. And I realized, you know, if I am creating a job for myself by myself, you know, I'm not working for,
Mhm.
why should I, you know, where I can be traveling around and, you know, getting inspiration, meeting different
Mhm.
cultures. Yeah. And I think, of course, thanks to lockdown, this happened, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, because me and my husband, we just like woke up one day and we thought, you know, why are we spending money on when, I mean, my
Yeah.
husband is
London is extremely expensive. I know that.
expensive. And why should I stay there if I don't have a job there, basically? You know what I mean? Like I still work for a company, as I mentioned before, because I have recruitment background and I still have to work in order to, you know, sustain BehindCanvas. But hopefully soon I will be able to just work on BehindCanvas on its own. But yeah, and when I told my boss that I want to leave, I didn't expect him to say, yeah, yeah, sure, just go, whatever, I'm fine. I sort of expected him to say, no, you know what, actually, this might not work out, so you'll have to leave or whatever. So I wasn't scared of that. I just had my
Mhm.
plan. I wanted to leave. I didn't care. And I just told him, and she said, yeah, it's fine. You know, whatever. You, we can work remotely. So, you know, I think most times we are scared to do certain steps. But
Yeah, I agree.
it's in our heads, you know. These other people that we're scared of might not even think about that. They think, oh, it's normal, it's fine, you know, why not? So yeah, I think because of the lockdown and because I realized that there isn't a dream job for me out there because I'm creating it myself, you know, why should I be based and all this trend? So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, yeah, you are my secret idol, to be honest, because I also opened the online company, and hopefully it will be soon big enough to live from that company as well. So I feel you. I feel you definitely.
Yeah,
So yeah.
tough. It's tough. No one is saying it's easy. It's tough. You have to
Yeah.
prepare yourself, and it's like a journey, you know. It's like you're, yeah, it's a different kind of journey. It's not like you're getting a job and you're learning and you're whatever, because you're getting paid at your job, right? You're getting
Hmm.
paid while learning. When you have your business, you don't get paid for your
Yeah,
learning. No,
that's
trial
the
and
problem.
you are responsible for your own mistakes. If you make a mistake, if something goes wrong, that's your responsibility. So
Yeah.
it's very, but it's interesting. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I would say.
definitely. So maybe when we are talking about business, I would like to little bit know a little bit more. So take some advantage, to be honest, from your experience. So
Yeah.
my next question is how it is running a business where you're traveling. In fact, do you find any drawback of that, or you think it's a dream, so yeah, do it?
Uh,
What would you like to tell?
to be perfectly honest, drawbacks. I mean, yes, we're traveling with suitcases and we have to carry, you know, the camera equipment and all of that because obviously
Hmm.
all the
Yeah.
courses are filmed in different locations, so we have to carry that with us. But to be honest, this is not even an issue. You know, paying for baggage is not an issue. The issue usually is all down to sales. It's not about that I can't get up every day and do certain things. I can get up and
Hmm.
do. It's not an
Yeah.
issue. If it's hot, if it's cold, if it's whatever, I'll do it if I have to. The problem is most of the times is trying to promote my courses and sell them
Yeah.
part. And I think every business owner would say that. It's not about
Hmm.
time management or you don't feel motivated. You feel motivated all the time. You just
Hmm.
feel motivated when, you know, it's not going as good as you expected because you put so much
Hmm.
energy into it. But I think, yeah, the only
Hmm.
drawback is sort of building a strategy where, you know, you're actually selling without putting too much energy into it. And this is something that I'm working on at the moment, because at the moment I put too much into it and I don't get as much as I put into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I
But
understand.
yeah, but it's a normal process. But at the same time, it's very sometimes disheartening because, you know, you put so much energy out there, it's just not received in the same way. So I think,
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's the only drawback.
Yeah, I think I have a similar problem because I can put the boundary between my life, my
Oh,
work, and my company, because of course now I have weekends, people go to park, people do stuff, and I
yeah,
think, okay, I have to design this, I need
yeah,
to respond for that message, that, and then whole day it's gone, and I recognize, okay, in fact I'm working 7 days, and it's difficult to put that boundary,
very.
but I think it's worth. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I don't have boundaries between life and work anymore. They just don't exist. And for instance, yesterday I had taken some time off and still, you know, I received
Mhm.
an email about 10 p.m. that some student can't log into their account. And, you know, even though I'm having my wine and I'm in the middle of something, you know, I'm still there answering this email, figuring out, okay, why
Yeah.
this can't log into her account? What's happening there, you know? So I'm starting to
Mhm.
check. So it's like, yes, there isn't this kind of balance. That's the only issue. It's very hard to switch off sometimes, and sometimes I have to actually push myself to not work, like
Yeah,
just sit still and think, no,
exactly.
oh, no, you're not doing this, and I try to distract myself. you know that's bad, I think, when you can't distract yourself. But I think
Hmm.
with lockdown everyone is feeling like that, that we're kind of,
Yeah, lockdown. It's really
yeah,
weird time.
it is.
Even London. I have to tell you now because only good thing about London at the moment, it's totally empty. I
Yes,
have
yes,
never ever been in, for example, in the middle of London, let's say a bank station, and
yes.
you see zero people.
Zero people, yeah.
I have lots of amazing pictures
Yeah,
for that period. Obviously, it's terrible time, but it's
crazy.
it, it's crazy. Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I took some pictures as well when I used to live in Kensington, so I was kind of like quite
Okay.
central. I think you're
Mm.
right in a city, right? You are.
Yeah, at the moment I live south, but I used to live Shoreditch, so that
Ah,
was really, yeah,
yeah, I
really central.
there. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm planning to move again to central because I miss that kind of vibe.
Vibe.
South
Yeah,
is brilliant, but yeah, I little bit miss that
yeah, yeah,
specific.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's interesting. The whole experience is just something
Mm.
different for us, and actually that comes up to the other question that I wanted to ask
Okay.
you, about what is your current dream, or maybe you have multiple dreams. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think the the biggest dream at the moment for me um it's be able to travel again. I mean,
Hmm.
because whole of that lockdown in England, it was whole of the year when we were closed in the
Yes.
flats. So at the moment, I'm just dreaming to travel. I'm dream to travel to my country and visit my parents. I haven't seen them since lockdown started, so since last year. So that's terrible. I miss them so much. I had no idea how much I would miss my parents, my little sister. So yeah, I think
Oh
that's the biggest dream at the moment for me. Yeah.
no, I think it's for the most people. I mean, I am from Latvia originally. I mean, I'm half
Mhm.
English, half Latvian, and I usually fly once a year or so, and I'm kind of used to seeing my parents, my grandparents, and so on, for a very long time, because I
Mhm.
only visit once a year, and you sort of get used to that. But yeah, you're sort of missing that sometimes,
Yeah.
having just fly, just book your tickets and go over, and yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
I can relate
Yeah.
in that sense.
Mhm.
And also, I had another question about back to interior design. Which interior design events or exhibitions you enjoy attending? Maybe you've not been attending them in the past year, but I know this is a bit off topic about dreams. But I wanted to actually know, what do you enjoy visiting, and yeah,
Yeah,
going
sure.
to.
I think my journey with interior design started also when I attended for one of the London design event. That's the whole of the week,
Oh,
it's called London Design Week.
oh yeah, yeah, I
It's
heard.
it's every year. It's more for interior designers, but I met lots of like design passionate people, also architects. So it's based in Chelsea. I even prepare here some yeah, I get
Oh,
that kind of books from the for the
nice.
place, and what they provide they provide lots of talks with designers. You can come to every shop, you can ask for the samples. That's really important for interior
Yes.
designers to touch the material, to feel the material,
Yeah.
to design with fabric. So it is really important for us. And another place, it's not that connected with interior design. It's more for art passionate people. It's definitely on top of my list. Would be Tate Modern
Oh,
Gallery.
yeah, 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 yeah. You like Tate Modern, yeah?
I'm Yeah, I love that gallery, and because I live south, Tate Modern, it's like 10 minutes by bike, so I spend there quite a lot of time, and even sometimes I pack my computer to my backpack and go to a cafe on the top of the Tate Modern gallery and spend their whole day working, and I love this place. I think it's the best place in London for me. So yeah.
Oh, that's special. That's very nice. I mean, I love Victoria and Albert Museum. I
Oh,
love
you
it.
see another one.
Yeah, I can spend hours in there. Because I really like fashion, and I
Mm.
love the. I absolutely loved the exhibition they think
Yeah.
5 years ago maybe on Alexander McQueen. It was the best exhibition I have ever visited. Like the
Okay.
best. Like going into a show, it was very
Yeah,
special.
exactly.
I think no one can beat that. I've not been to a better exhibition since then. And
Mm.
that I really miss about London, and that was another thing that why we left is because I can't enjoy all these things, and um, I absolutely love London for its arts culture, and that was the reason why
Yeah.
I go there, because as an artist, you want to, grow yourself as an artist somewhere where this is
Mm.
appreciated. London arts is
Mm.
appreciated, so
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
yeah, it's a very special place.
Mm.
I'm actually missing it right now. You just
It's nice to meet some another London lover. So maybe let's jump for my another
yeah.
question. Uh, As you are a successful woman, have you got any powerful habits which can help with your run your company? So, yeah, my question is, do you have any powerful habit?
Yes, I think it's something that I am still developing, to be honest. I wouldn't say
Mm-hmm.
I'm at certain things. Managing my own emotions is very hard for me. So I would love to be more kind of stand back and not personally. This is something that I'm really struggling, and I think this is very, very powerful habit to have when you're just able to stand back and think, okay, this is business. This is nothing to do with me as a person, so I
Yeah.
shouldn't care about that. So I wouldn't say I have developed very, powerful habits yet.
Mm.
I think before that, for instance, like time management and dedication is something that I always had. So it's not something that I have developed since I started BehindCanvas. I always was like
Mm.
that whenever it came to work
Mm.
or life in general. I'm very good at doing things, and I don't, I mean, I do procrastinate a bit, like, many people do. Certain things that make me feel a bit, uncomfortable. But eventually I will still do
Mm.
them. I will write them down and I will do. For instance, like starting a YouTube channel was very, thing that I was
Mm.
procrastinating for a very long time, maybe for half a year, probably for a year. And then I just started.
Mm.
I just booked a place where to film. I filmed like 6 videos in one time, and
Sure.
that will start. So I go hard on things. If go hard or go home. you know, this is
Yeah, that I
yeah.
think the most difficult moment is just start and then never give up, because when you start something, you have always some moments when you think, okay, that has nothing, like I will do nothing because it's not worth it, and sometimes you have those moments, but you can't give up, and yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you. I mean, giving up is so easy. But no, actually, easy, to be honest, because you want to do it, but inside you can't. You know, it's weird. Like your head says, okay, let's just stop. You know, it's enough. It's too hard. But you can't. You know, wake up and you do it all over again and again and again until you're happy with it. And yeah, it's weird. It's a weird feeling.
It's like obsession. Like
Yeah, addiction. It's very addictive.
addiction. Yeah, addiction. That's the good word. Exactly.
Yeah, obsession, addiction. It's like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I will jump for another question, which I prepare, which would be, what kind of advice would you give to your younger version of yourself? Are you, are you do something differently, or would you like to do something differently, or?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or you're just happy where you are?
You know, especially because I haven't done sort of any mistakes that I feel bad about, you know. But I think if I were to give an advice to my younger self, I would probably say, you know, not being so hard on myself, because there were times where I really was pushing myself, and I had this dream, for instance, of becoming a fashion designer. It was like my dream, you know. And then when it came to using a degree, I sort of backed off a bit, and I thought, oh, I will not be able to make it. It's a very difficult industry. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
So
it
I
is.
started as difficult as fashion, but I think fashion is probably even more difficult, to be honest. And I think I sort of, I'm that kind of person who really feels bad when I let myself down, you know, like for instance, inside myself, you know, you can't do it, just not, let's not go in there. And I feel really bad about that, because I feel, well, I doubted myself, you know, back then. Why did it's a very bad thing to do, because you should be there for yourself all the time. You know, you know, it's not like your parents, your friends, your boyfriend, your husband, whatever. Yeah, it's great when they support you, but you have to support yourself, you know, first and foremost, whatever you do. And it's a very tough
It's
sort of,
difficult.
it's very tough journey to get to that stage where you're supporting yourself and you really believe in yourself. It's very, you always need that appreciation from someone else. Oh yes, you're great, yes, you'll be fine. But yeah, it's very philosophical, but yeah, I think.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. What can I say? It's tough. Yeah, definitely.
Tough people, you know, we have difficult kind of psychological whatever. It's, I think that's the only advice, and I think everyone would say that, you know, they would prefer younger self to be, just to believe in yourself more, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So. I think I would say, for myself, I would open my company earlier. That's only one regrets which I have at the moment. Like, I would open my company earlier, because for a long time I wasn't happy where I was. So I think I should do that earlier. But thank God I I did that anyway. So.
No, it's true. You're saying true things. I mean, this is the other thing that I would say, and I say it quite often as well. Yeah, starting earlier, just because it takes such a long time. You know, it's such a long time to get there, and we all want everything quick. You know, we want this like to happen.
Yeah.
And you know, be a millionaires in 6 months after we start a business, but in fact, it doesn't happen. You know, and you're sitting there thinking, oh, if I started 5 years earlier, you know, maybe I would already be a millionaire. You know, who knows? Or whatever. So yeah, I agree with you, but I think we also have to think that it's good that we even started. You know, some people don't even start at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I
think we should pat ourselves on the shoulder and say,
you do good. I had another obsession over the pandemic. I started to watch lots of tech talks and lots of interviews with famous people and with successful people, and all of them said, like, you have to start, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to start. And then I thought, okay, if Elon Musk told me that if, for example, Jack Ma, who invited Alibaba, said like he was rejected for some McDonald's or whatever, like 40 times. Pardon?
I was as well. I applied to McDonald's when I was I think I was 18 or something, and I was rejected. Yeah, that was very heartbreaking. I must say.
Exactly. And it's just part of the life. No one's know who you are, and like you're just another number. So well, you have to be strong.
Yeah, and I mean these TED Talks as well, when they talk about their challenges, and I mean this guy as well who opened Netflix, I mean it took him what 10 to 15 years, and now everyone knows about Netflix, but before that was like a failure project, like it was just,
Yeah.
and yeah, and we just don't know about that, like Jeff Bezos as well, like with the Amazon, I mean how many years it took him to, yes, a multi-billionaire, or I don't know if I think he's a multi-billionaire now, but you know him as well, like 15 years to get there. So I think we just never think that it has taken so many years for these people to get where they are.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I agree with you here. And I wanted to ask you my last question to you.
Okay.
You know, how does your dream kids bedroom design looks like? Could you like describe? I would love to get inspired by it, hopefully.
Well, I think it's difficult to specify for one the most dream bedrooms, because obviously at the moment I'm working on that kind of industry, and I have like thousands of ideas. But of course you can dress how you want to, and you create amazing space. But I think you have to take a step back and think more for a function than for how that room would looks like.
Yeah.
And I think the most important, like I said a little bit earlier, is to build that curiosity in your child, and create the space where child would be very curious. And it's not easy. It's not that easy. It's not. You can provide lots of stuff, but it's not that obvious. So I think I would create really interesting space for my little one. And I want to have a huge family, so maybe I will provide them even like two separate rooms. I think one would be like a playroom where they can come and do whatever they want, jump or make huge mess, and another room where they can rest after like all of day playing. And so that would be my dream solution for that.
That's great. I mean, I'll sure to reach out to you and ask you to design I think, to be honest, I'm really into psychology, and I read a lot about how children sort of interact with like space and people. And I think a lot of people underestimate when they think that children are small, they don't understand anything, they don't, you know, they maybe don't, but they actually do. They do a lot. And for instance, if a child doesn't see any colors, for instance, for a year, he will have a completely different way of seeing colors in the future. So you really have, I mean, you have to create spaces for children so they are curious, like you said. And curiosity is the best feeling you can ever have. Curiosity leads to building a business, finding, you know, your dream, whatever, a space to live, and anything. You know, curiosity is the key in general for every person, and it all starts you know, childhood. And I remember my bedrooms, I mean, as a kid, my mom really put effort into creating nice spaces for us. And I appreciate that. I remember that. And I really felt good in the space where I was living. But I know people, for instance, who didn't feel good in the space where they lived. So, and there's a lot of people like that. So I think it's very special what you're doing, and definitely I think you're really passionate about it, and that's the key. And eventually,
Hopefully.
people will see that. You know, it just takes time for people to realize and to, but it's
Yes.
I don't know any other interior designer who's doing that, for instance, you know. So for me, you're definitely the memorable one, and I'll remember I'll remember you. Yeah, and it's very interesting. So I think in terms of my questions, I don't think I have any more, but of course at the end maybe we can cover a few more questions, maybe from the audience.
I'm just checking my list, to be honest, because I was sure I would forget something.
That's okay. We can.
Oh, yes. I have one more question which I didn't cover. So it is, what would you say that you're the most excited about in life nowadays?
Oh,
That would be a good question for the end.
yes, I am very excited at the moment about visiting more places, because at the moment we're in Cyprus, but we will be in less than a month. We'll just go back for a bit, because unfortunately my granddad and my grandma has passed away last month.
Oh, sorry
Yes,
to hear that.
yeah, we will be going there to sort of visit and help my mom a bit with that. But after we want to sort of embark onto the next location, and I think we really want to visit Asia. We really want to go to sort of like back area like Thailand, and this is something that
Oh, yeah, good.
yes, I really want to go
Yeah.
there. And I think with all the suitcases, it's quite hard to sort of move very often. So we when we go to a location, we try to 3 months, because you know it's quite expensive to like move around all the time. But yeah, so I think I'm very excited about visiting more places and just trying out different, meeting more people, and also about really building my client list, because this is something that I've been doing at the moment. You know, I'm trying to get the grips with marketing and really build my sort of list of people who are interested in the courses. And yeah, I'm excited about that, because I really needed a strategy in place for quite a long time. Only now that it's kind of starting to get together. So I'm quite excited about, well, where will that lead me to? So I think that's that's the two exciting things that I'm looking forward.
Yeah, I love Asia. To be honest, I was there when I was 16, and it was a school expedition. So that's really crazy. We traveled around the India for nearly 3 months, and yeah, that was like that opened my eyes a lot. Like, because you can travel anywhere in in Europe, but Asia is totally different world. So yeah, if you have that kind of thought, I cross the fingers and go there, because yeah, it's I have here even some item for India.
Oh yeah.
It's dancing Shiva.
Wow. My
So that
collect so many Buddhas. Like he had like lots of them in his office, and it's actually just reminded me. It's I think it's a completely different world, and that's what I want to explore, because so far I've been around Europe and I've been to the US, but I haven't been actually anywhere else. And I really want to visit like Middle East. I really want to explore different cultures, and yeah, I'm very interested, you know, to see how people think, what they just different things. So I'm very excited about that. I really hope we'll be able to get all the lockdown and stuff, but I think they're starting to open borders now, and I hope that it will be a possibility to do that in July. So fingers crossed. I really hope.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So shall we close our conversation, or would you like ask something more? Or
I think we had a quite in-depth conversation today. I'm just wondering if anyone who's watching us would like to ask some questions. There will be any, great. If there will not be any, then I guess we can end here. I think it's great that we shared our experiences, and just in general what we're talking about and how we do things. And I really enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. You broke my boundaries, so
Yeah,
it would be another chapter on my career. So great, thank you for
yeah.
that.
I'm sure next time you will feel, even more confident and more, and then who knows, you might be doing this every day. You
Yeah,
never know.
maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely, I would like to invite you later after, I don't know, half of a year or something, and then we can compare how our company grow. So
But
we
that's
will
what I'm saying.
see.
Yeah, especially with a lot of interior design students who are currently studying and they're learning with me. It's the same for them. We're both growing. We're both trying to
Yeah.
grow our business, and it's something that sometimes I forget. But actually, yeah, I mean, we're all growing together. And who knows where we
Mm.
will be in 5 years and 10 years. And the most special thing is that also having these IG streams and meeting you, feels like we're becoming friends. And if I'm in London next time, I would love to catch up with you and meet with you and
Yeah, definitely.
go to
Please.
other or an exhibition.
Oh, yeah. That will be
So
brilliant.
I think it's great because I don't have many friends who are sort of into arts. I mean, some of them are, but
Mm.
not everyone is the
Mm.
same. So it's great to find people who like similar things. And yeah, so
Mm.
I thank you so much again for joining. It's a very special that over your fear, or telling me, oh, I don't feel comfortable, or you know what, my hair looks bad, so I don't really want to go live. And who cares about your
Oh, my
hair?
hairs always are so happy, and I
No,
don't. That's
you look.
the point at which I not really care, but because they're always like that. But yeah, I was really worried. So yes, thank you
Yeah,
for breaking my boundaries. So yeah,
just building obstacles for yourself. It's not a good thing. It's not like you're hosting a TED talk, and everyone will be looking at. It's at the moment I don't have millions of subscribers, so it's not to worry about at all. So thank you so much, yeah, again for overcoming your fears. And as I said before, every single IG stream that I've done for every single person, it was their first time. So all of these people overcame their comfort zones. So yeah, so I hope if someone who's watching now would like to host an IG stream with me, please let me know. I would love to come up with topics and we can discuss. And Patrycja, thank you so much again. I think we'll definitely do another one again, and I
sure.
will, yeah, I will reach out for sure. So I will save this video now, and I will let you
Okay,
upload it so you can upload that onto your feed as well.
brilliant.
Great. I hope you have a lovely Sunday, and everyone who's been watching, thank you so much, and speak soon.
I'm just checking the weather. Yes, it's nice weather, so it definitely
Oh,
would be a good day.
okay, great. So you can maybe have a rest, have a walk or something like that. So it's 27 degrees here, so it's pretty nice.
Oh, okay. Yep. Lucky you. Okay,
But
so have a good day. Thank
yeah,
you.
bye bye.
Bye bye.